Hello everybody, welcome to a Learn as we play for Dark Rituals Malleus Maleficarum. This is a game by Darkgate Games. I received this early December, late November 2020, and it has a solo mode, which is one of the reasons I backed the Kickstarter. And we're going to learn as we play. I think a lot of people, myself included, a little bit disappointed that you have to print the solo rules yourself. We're all waiting to see if Darkgate Games will actually print out the solo rulebook and send it to backers. I suspect they probably won't, because the cost, etc. involved in that would be a little bit prohibitive. So, you know what, end of the day, it's not that big a deal. I've printed them out. At least it's easier to you know, keep pages open on a particular section. Let's get straight into how the board is set up. You're going to have your game tiles. The encounter is going to tell us which tiles we need. The encounter is also going to tell us where to place the characters, the starting characters. Where it's going to be quite different is, as you see here, certainly in the multiplayer game, you're only ever going to have 4 heroes. So to play the solo mode, you really do need the stretch goals. Or an expansion or two in order to get extra heroes. You need 6 heroes for it to work, and the reason is the AI for the system relies upon you having 6 heroes. You have these hero action cards which are slightly different for each hero, and you'll notice the symbols here, these align to types of heroes, so the actions on each card align to the type of hero. And I'll just show you what I mean there. Here's one of the hero cards. This is Gerald, who, as anybody who's played The Witcher can see, this is clearly you know, The Witcher. And you can see here his symbol, the axe, some kind of crown behind it, I'm not sure, but he's going to be perfect choice for hero 1. And then if we look here, we've got a different type of hero here with this, looks like a hammer with something swirling around it. So if we have a look, I've chosen Kenzu, so he's from the stretch goals. But in the base box you get Wulgar, who is that kind of hero. So you're going to need your 6 heroes to match these action cards. You also have your solo AI deck, which is 18 cards with a big number on the back, and clearly that number is going to dictate which hero activates. Put them over to the side. A couple of other things. In the game you will get tokens to represent chests, just a picture of a chest on a token. You will also get botanical tokens. Again, I've got these bagged up, you see there, just a little flower. But because I backed the Kickstarter and got the stretch goals, I got the miniature chests, so I'll be using those. I also got the little miniature botanicals. I think these will look a lot better when they're painted up. Right now it just looks like a blob of plastic. Also the summoning circles, there's one of those. Summoning circle token looks like that, and there's also the burning witch token, but in the stretch goals you get a miniature of a burning witch, so we will be using that instead. So the first thing we need to do to set the game up is obviously pick the encounter. So this is the first encounter from the solo rules. Gather their souls. These heroes are scurrying everywhere. They are more like cockroaches than heroes. There must be a way to get rid of them. We'll be overrun, moans Hagatha. We can scare them off. Misery and fear will drive them away, says Pekka. That's it. Bind some souls of these dead peasants to this land, and the aura of evil will do all the work we need, cackles Hagatha. So here we've got our boards that we need to set up. It's not quite as helpful on the solo encounters because it hasn't shown us the symbols for the cards here, so we're going to have to do our best to just read them off here. It looks like it's A3, B5, B1 and A2. So we'll just find those boards. Okay, so that's the first step done. We've got our board set out. One thing I will point out to you, the edges of the boards where they meet also count as the edge of a space. The reason I found that is that, having read the instructions a couple of times, when it gives you examples of moving and what's allowed, it clearly captures these as moving one, and it explains that you can't move diagonally from this space to this space. So these boundaries where the tiles meet each other are also the boundaries of spaces. Now the next thing we need to do is put on all of the miniatures, and then we will go from there. Okay, miniatures are all positioned exactly as shown in the encounter. Over on this side here, if I bring you over here, you can see I've got the hero boards set up. So we have the special solo cards here for each hero, and I've matched the types to what I've chosen. And then over here we have the hero's weapon cards, and you can see space is at a premium. The hero cards, the artwork is terrific, but they do take up a lot of space. So I have all of them here. I've then got the AI deck, the 18 AI cards for the heroes, and you simply use a single attribute tracker when you're playing solo mode. This is the attributes for all the heroes. In the multiplayer games, each hero has one of their own. The next thing we need to do is select our witches for the encounter and set up the Witchmaster's side. Oh, the other thing of course I need to do is put all of the heroes on the board. Now when we look at the setup for this, we can see they've selected different heroes than us, and this lady is different to who we've chosen. This lady is also different. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place the heroes that we've selected the same as them. I'm going to put in the same positions, but where they have an alternate hero, I'm going to look at the type of hero and substitute whoever I've picked. And I think that is all the heroes that we have that match theirs. They have this lady here, and I think she's the same symbol as this guy whose name is Kenzu. So we'll put Kenzu there, and that just leaves our last hero, good old Gerard, the swordsman. So he will go there. So now we have everybody on the board. We only have one witch on the board, Pekka. Let's see what else it says in the instructions. And it tells us, a little bit of text here and some instructions. The Witchmaster's stamina. The Witchmaster will start with 25 stamina. That's different. Normally the Witchmaster starts with 32. I've got my stretch goal. I think actually, I don't know if it's a stretch goal or an add-on, but I decided to get one anyway. Alright, so we've got our 25 stamina. The Witchmaster's misery board. Place 3 plague reward tokens at positions 2, 4 and 6. Well, this is the Witchmaster's misery board. It starts the game with a red cube just on this position here. There's just a red sort of circle. You simply place the cube on there, and then as you take out a hero or a peasant, possess a peasant or kill a peasant, you simply move this along one each time. What it's talking about now, it's talking about these plague tokens, and if you can see the numbers here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Each time you beat somebody, either stun a hero, possess a serf or kill a serf, you put a soul token. Let me just get a soul token. You put a soul token on one of these spaces starting with number 1, and then obviously each time you put a token you work your way around, and when you land on a position that has a plague token on it, you get to draw a plague card. So we'll see how that works out as we get through the game, but for now we just need to set this up. It says at positions 2, 4, and I need another plague token. There's one. 2, 4 and 6. So that is ready. So I'm just putting this over to the right side of the board, put my little red token on there, get my soul tokens ready. There we go, got a little stack of that. There's my plague cards. That's what the plague cards look like. Put those here as well next to the board, keep them handy. Got lots of wound tokens. Now the wound tokens are interesting because some of them are just wounds on both sides, like this one. But some of them have got various symbols on the other side. I haven't yet discovered exactly what these symbols are for, but some of them have got the plague token on the back of them. On one side it's a wound, on the other side it's a plague token. So there we go. Right, so we have our plague token set up. It says serfs. All the serfs are farmers. So what it means there is that when we are playing the game, you have these cards which tell you about the attributes of each of the creatures, each of the characters in the game. And normally you have militia and farmer. There's our militia with the axe and the shield, and there's our farmer just with his pitchfork. But for this game it says all serfs are farmers. So we're only going to use this card, we're not going to worry about the militia. Red area of interest. Spawn heroes in the area marked with the red area of interest icon. Okay, the red area of interest is there. So if we ever need to spawn a hero, they're always going to spawn in this space. So that's what that means. Okay, what else does it tell us? Now we get into the special rules. Let me bring this back over here. Special rules. Trapped souls. When the Dark Legion defeats a serf, its soul is trapped in the mortal realm. Replace the serf miniature with a soul token. Okay. Hero objectives. No trapped souls. When there are no trapped souls on the board, the hero's default objective is attack witch. The move to objective action means move to an area where the hero can attack a witch. Souls are trapped. When a hero is in the same area as a trapped soul, the activate objective action will free the trapped soul. Remove the soul token from the board and place it in the hero's play area. The move to objective action means move to the same area as a trapped soul token. So basically, if there's any trapped souls on the board, all the heroes, if they get a move to objective, etc., they are going to try and get to the trapped soul to free it. But if there's no trapped souls on the board, all the heroes are going to care about is fighting the witches. Win conditions. Heroes. The heroes win immediately if they free 3 trapped souls. And it says if that happens, it was a good plan, but we need to work harder, says Pekka, staring at Hagatha. Why are you looking at me? I only fed once. The Witchmaster's win condition. The Witchmaster wins immediately if there are 4 trapped souls on the board at the same time. Perfect. All is as I said it would be, croaks Hagatha. You're happy now, but I think they will return. So there's only 6 serfs on the board, which is obviously why the heroes win if they free 3. Because if they free 3, there are no longer sufficient serfs on the board for the Witchmaster to win. It's impossible to get 4 because there would only be 3 left. I've got each of the cards for the Condemned, the Mortis and the Ravenous ready. There's one other thing we need to do. So we're starting the first round, and at the start of any round the Witchmaster gets to pick 3 cards. Now when you get to the start of the next round, second round, third round, etc., if you haven't used any of these cards, you can choose to keep them, or you can discard the ones that you haven't used, and you draw up a hand to make sure you start the next round with 3 cards. So let's just have a quick look what we've got. Stone Flesh. Your body hardens to resist the blow. This little black square here in front of the 3, I don't know if you can make that out, hopefully you can see that. That means this is a reaction. We can exhaust 3 stamina. When you take 1 or more damage, ignore all damage. Okay? Next one, Restore Vitality. The witch drains life from nearby heroes. This one has the little black arrow in front of the 3. It's quite small, hopefully you can see that there, just in front of the 3. So this is an action. We can spend 3 stamina, and a witch transfers its wounds to the heroes in its area, up to 1 wound per hero. And then we have the next spell, Detonate, Living Bombs. Now this is a reaction again. When a minion is defeated, you make it explode. So whenever a minion's defeated somewhere on the board, if we've got this spell, we can use 3 of our stamina and basically turn that minion into an exploding bomb. You roll separate attacks against all the heroes in its area. 2 yellow dice. It says 3 here, but actually we've got the 3 stamina there. I suspect that what that's saying is we have an attack strength of 3 plus the 2 yellow dice. We will have to see. Anyway, those are our 3 spells. So, whenever you start a round, the heroes always start first. Sure, it'd be good if I could put these cards somewhere where you could see them. There's our creatures, reference cards. Okay, so the way this works is very simple. You take the AI deck. There's our tracker. Everything's set to 0 as we start the game. You ignore this number on the top of the first card and you turn it over. This number tells us which hero is going to activate. So it's hero number 1, which is Kurthouse. The guy right up the board. I don't know if you can see him. Right up the board with the sword. Then what we do is I'll bring the cards here just so it's easier to see. Here's our hero 1 card. We start by looking to see if we can do any of these actions, and if we can't do any of those 3 actions, we do one of these. And then if we can't do anything at all, as the instructions say, this hero just doesn't do anything and we get lucky as the Witchmaster. So, activate objective is the first item on the list. And if you remember, the objective, which is defined in the encounter scenario, the primary objective is to try and free trapped souls. We're not able to do that, so when there are no trapped souls on the board, the hero's default objective is attack witch. The move to objective action means to move to an area where the hero can attack the witch. So we can't attack a witch, that's what that means, activate objective, we can't attack a witch. Next one, attack witch or creature. Well, we can't attack a witch or creature because we don't have one in the space with us. Move 2 towards objective. Now we can definitely do that. We can move 2 towards objective. Well, okay, hang on, can we? As soon as Kurthouse moves 1 space, he'll be, if we just come up the board, as soon as he moves 1 space, he'll be in the same space as these 2 condemned. Now the condemned, if we look at their card, they have an agility of 3. See just above my thumb there? That's their agility symbol. In order to move through a space and not get stopped on the way, if we have a look at Kurthouse's card, his agility is only 1. So he would move the 1 space, but then as soon as he's moved into that space, he would have to stop. So, if we remind ourselves again, move 2 towards objective. Well, he wouldn't be able to do that. He wouldn't be able to evade, so he wouldn't be able to move the 2 spaces. So now, we move on to these. Move 2 to chest, search chest. Okay, now this one I'm happy that he can do. He doesn't need to move the whole 2 spaces, but common sense would dictate that if he can move 2 and get to the chest in less than 2, that's going to be fine. So he can move into here, because there's a grey arrow on the board that points there to show you that you can move him through that door. There's a chest in there, and as part of the same action, he will search the chest. So we take the chest off the board, that's now been searched. We get 2 loot cards. These are the loot cards. So we get 1, which is, this is an artifact, basically something that the hero can wear. Now, in the solo rules, all of this interesting text, etc. here, you just ignore it. In the solo rules, you get to have 1 artifact, and it increases your... Now, which one does it increase? It increases your agility by 1. So we'll put that on his card to remember that we've got it. So that's going to increase his agility by 1. Let's see what the next card is. The next card is a weapon upgrade. It increases your defense. Again, we ignore all of this stuff that you'd use in the normal game, and all we have to do is put this over with his weapon. I'll just bring it over so you can see, and you tuck it underneath the weapon like this, and we now know that his weapon, there you go, tuck it underneath there like that. We now know that his weapon has got this bonus. It's going to get +1 whenever there's a need to defend. So that was the first action finished. Now we have to do the second action, and the second action, well, we can't do that. We can't attack a witch or creature. We can move two towards our objective. The objective is obviously to get towards the witch. So we can do this time, because we can, let me just put that there. I'll just bring this back over here so we can see. So we can move 1 out of the house, 2 into this space. Now this time, because we're only moving 2 towards our objective, we would have to stop anyway. And we can stop there, we're where we need to be. So that is the end of the first of the hero's activations in this round. Now we come over to the Witchmaster. We've got our tokens here. Let me come back on our tokens. I think the most sensible thing I can do right now is try and move. Where will I move? I need to get to these farmers. Pekka spends 3 stamina to move, so she doesn't move quickly. That's not great. Okay, let's spend our 3. So we take our 3 tokens, put them in the expended tokens board. That allows us to move Pekka 1 place. And then we will spend another 3 to move into here with Batista and this peasant. That's it. That's 2 actions done. Now, if we're lucky, Batista isn't going to get activated this go, and so we'll be able to try and, well, we will be able to convert this serf on the next turn. So we turn over the next card on the deck, because it's now the hero's turn. We're activating hero number 3, which is Wulgar. Activate objective. Can't do that. He can't attack a witch, and he can't sort of deal with a trapped soul. Move to objective. He can't move to an objective either. If it says move towards, that would have been fine, but move to means he has to be able to move 1 move and be there with the objective. Next is 2+ heroes in your area all attack witch. And there aren't any heroes in the area or witches, so there's nothing we can do. There is a reaction at the back here, which is if you're in an area with a witch, teleport any hero to your area, which is interesting, but there's nothing we can do on that card. So now we move to his hero card, number 3. First action is an alchemy. Well, we haven't got any botanicals, so we can't perform an alchemy anyway, but nobody needs healing. The next action, move towards enemy. That we can do. We have a mortis. If you remember where Wulgar is, he's up here. There he is. So for 1 action, we will move towards enemy. Well, there we go. There's a mortis. And then if we were to go through the cards again, nothing's changed on the first card. He still can't do anything. But the second card, we've moved towards the enemy. We can now attack the enemy. So, in order to attack, slightly different in the solo game, we will still take his weapon here, which is melee attack. So he's going to get 3 yellow dice So we get our 3 yellow dice ready. But then we will add to that whatever the strength value on here is, which at the moment is nothing, and then his starting strength value, which if you have a look over here, you can see is 1. So let's see what he gets. We'll give these a good shake. He gets 2. Oh, and nothing on there. So he gets 2 plus his own strength of 1, gives him an attack of 3. What does a Mortis have? Well, the Mortis, I don't even need to expend any stamina to do a defense roll, because the natural strength, the natural armor value of a Mortis is 3. So not going to take any damage at all. That is the end of another hero's turn. I come back over here. Pekka is going to attack this serf. I was just rereading the instructions. It doesn't say that you have to possess the serf. So the witches have a special action just there, which is to possess a serf, which she can do for 5. But this actually says that we need to defeat a serf. So what I need to do then with Pekka is I need to expend 3 stamina from my bowl, put them there. We get 2 blue dice, there they are, 2 blue dice and 1 yellow dice. So we'll get those ready to use in a second. And then depending on what score we get, we'll be able to execute one of these spells. So let's see what score we get. Okay, not bad. Or at least I hope it's not bad. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've got 4. To the 4, we add her attack strength of 2. That gives us 6, which means that we could perform either of these 2 spells. That one is 5, that one is 6. So we need to get our spell book, our grimoire. So we can perform either Recoveren, which is you recover 1 stamina, or 6, which is Perfora, which says our attack ignores 1 defense. Okay, so 1 defense will be ignored. So let's have a look at the farmer. He has a natural defense of 2. We're going to ignore 1 of those, which means he has a natural defense of 1. So the 6 that we've done is easily defeating that farmer. So we do exactly what it says on the instructions. We take him off the board. We replace him with a soul token. That was 1 action from Pekka. Now Pekka has an agility of 3. I'll just remind you here, this is the agility symbol, the boots. She has an agility of 3. Batista, if I look at his agility, he has an agility of 1, which means that she can evade him. She can move out of the space with him very easily. He, on the other hand, wouldn't be able to move out of her space because his agility is terrible. So she can move out. That will cost us another 3 to move her. So I'll put those 3 there. And there is something we need to do, which I forgot. So let's just do this now. We defeated a serf, so we move that into the first space. We also put a soul token on the first track position, and we can also put a wound in one of these sacrifice trackers, just so we can keep track of how many we've got. We just have to remember to remove that if one of the heroes manages to save the soul. Right, that was our turn as the Witchmaster. Now we come back to the heroes again, flip the next card. We're activating Kurthouse again. First choice for him, attack witch creature. He can do that. He is in, if you remember, he's up here. He's in this place with the 2 condemned. So we'll attack them in the order of which one's closest to him. So we'll attack this one first. Not that it really matters, because they only have 1 health. So if he attacks it and wins, it's dead anyway. So he will do his attack. He has a starting attack strength of 2. He has a... What's his melee attack? It's the blue. 1 blue, 2 yellow. Okay, let's give them a shake. Okay. He gets a really good one this time. He's got 5. We add his attack strength to it of 2, which gives him a 7. Now the condemned only has a natural resilience of 2. So I could expend 2 more stamina to roll 2. You know what? Let's do that. So I'm going to expend 2 stamina, and I get to roll 2 green dice. Now let's hope we get something pretty good. Well, that's rubbish. We get 1. We add the 1 to the 2 to give us 3, which is way less than 7. We then also have to check down here, though. There is a reaction which costs nothing. When the condemned attacks or defends, you may re-roll 1 die if there are 1 plus other condemned in your area. Well, there is another condemned in the area, so I will re-roll this dice for free, no stamina cost. And it still gives us nothing. I'm just wondering what this dice would have done. The best you can get on a green dice is a 2. Yeah, that's the best you can get. So we would have not been able to save ourselves, I think. Yeah, we would have not been able to save ourselves. I probably shouldn't have even wasted the stamina trying to do a defense, but at least it showed you how that works. So what happens? Well, the first thing that happens is we remove the miniature from the table. The next thing that happens is that we move these tokens along. So we move the lowest first. If they're all equal, then we start at the top and work our way down. So we do that. And that was his first action. Now we have to look for his second action, and guess what? It says attack which creature, so we do this exactly the same again. Give these a good shake. Not quite as good this time, just 3. We're going to add his 2 to that to give us 5. The condemned only has 2. We can't re-roll this time because there is no other condemned in the area. So this time, I'm just going to have to let him die because I don't want to keep spending the limited stamina that I've got to try and defend. And we already know that the green dice really don't give you much at all. What would I need? I would need... I'd need 3. I'd have to get the equivalent of rolling a 6 and 2 other... Yeah, no, I think we just have to sacrifice this guy. He's gone. We will move up the next one of these, like so. Right, that's the end of the hero's turn. It's my turn again. Get rid of these dice. I need to get moving and get the next serf dealt with. The easiest thing I can do, I think, is move this mortis into here to attack and defeat this farmer. So to move the mortis costs 3 stamina. So I'll pay my 3 stamina and move him 1. Then I'll pay my next 3 stamina and move him in there so we're ready to attack next go. That's the end of my turn. Now we flip the next card here. We are now going to activate Batista. Oh, I don't believe it. Activate objective. So the objective is, if there is a trapped soul, when a hero is in the same area as a trapped soul, the activate objective action will free the trapped soul, remove the soul token from the board and place it in the hero's play area. That is the worst luck we could have possibly got. So we take the soul token and get rid of it. We have to remember to take that wound tracker off there because we've lost that one. So now that was Batista's first action. The second action now. Well, he can't do that anymore. We've already activated the objective. Search chest or pick up botanicals. Well, he can't pick up botanicals. There's none in that dwelling. But there is a chest. So take the chest off the board. Right, so he draws a loot card. And he gets this. It's an artifact. None of this text matters. It would in the multiplayer game. In the solo game, this simply means he's going to get a +1 to his agility. And we put that right in the middle of his card. Just there. So that we don't forget. So that's going to help him to evade a bit better. So that's 2 actions for him complete. Now at this point, if you've been keeping track, this is all I've got left. 5 stamina. Now in the multiplayer game, you basically can choose to pass your turn, and the other players can keep going as long as they've got stamina until they wish to pass. You don't have to use all your stamina. You may want to keep a little bit of stamina in case you get attacked. In the solo game, what happens is the moment that I as the Witchmaster decide that I want to pass, the heroes will get to activate one more time, and then we'll start a new round, which means that heroes always start the round. So effectively, the heroes are going to get to go twice now. So I will pass, which means that the heroes will get their next turn. So we flip our card. It's Hero 6, which is Kenzu. Let's just remind ourselves, he's right here, right at the front of the board. It says, attack 2 enemies in range. He only has 1 enemy in range. In fact, he doesn't even have 1 enemy in range. I thought he had a ranged attack. He doesn't have a ranged attack. He only has a melee attack. So he can't do the first action. Move to 2+ enemies. He cannot move to 2+ enemies. He could move to 1 enemy, but not to 2+. Move towards objective and activate objective. Well, he can move towards his objective because his objective would be to kill the witch. Sorry, he can move towards her, but he'll just move the 1. So now he's in that space with the Ravenous. Now we have to look again at the actions for this, and it's we still can't attack 2. We still can't move to 2 enemies. He can try and move towards his objective. We need to check his agility. His agility is 2 plus, we have to remember now, we've got a +1 in agility here. His agility is now 3. The Ravenous's agility is 3. So he can move, which means he will move to here. And he does 2 actions, move towards objectives and activate, move towards the witch, and now he will attack the witch. So let's see what he gets to attack with. He gets to attack with 2 blue dice. Just put those there. So 2 blue dice plus his strength. His attack strength here of 2. So we're going to add 2 to it. But then we also have to remember to add on the +1 from our attribute tracker. So we're going to be adding 3 to whatever we get on these blue dice. So let's hope he doesn't get a good roll. 2. Okay, that's not too bad. So we add 3 to that, we get 5. Now there is a reaction down here. It says a level 1 alchemy, when you attack, melee weapons gain range of 1. First of all, we haven't got any botanicals, so they can't attack anyway they can't do any alchemy. But even if they could do this, it really wouldn't matter because we're not trying to, he's in the same zone. He doesn't need to increase his range. So he's doing an attack value of 5. Now, Pekka has a natural defense of 2. So I think this is why it was a good idea to keep just a few stamina left. We will expend 3 stamina. Just looking at our spells. Right. Yeah, I don't think our spells are going to help us, but we will expend 3 stamina. We get a red dice and a green dice. 1. So we're going to add 1 to our natural resilience of 2, which will give us 3. Well, 3 with the 5 means that hero has got through, has damaged us. Now, this is the one area in the rules that I find confusing, or not confusing. I've read it in a couple of different places, in a couple of different ways. It says that if you have a higher attack value than the target's defense value, you do 1 wound. To me, that seems incredibly slow. You know, you only ever do 1 wound each turn. And I think it makes more sense to actually just look at the difference and work out the wounds that way. So you've got a 5 here against a 3, which would mean 2 wounds. I'm not sure exactly which way it's supposed to be played. The other reason I think it's done that way is because of this card. When you take 1 plus wound, ignore all wounds. So how can you take more than 1 wound if you only ever take 1 wound? To me, it really, yeah, it's sort of confusing. It's only because of this spell card that I actually think that you should do it that way. Do you know what? I'm going to do what the book says. The book says on combat, if the attack value is higher than the defense value, the target takes 1 wound. So that is really quite explicitly clear. We take 1 wound and we place that on Pekka's card so that we remember she's got 1 wound. And that is the end of Kenzu's turn. Now we start a new round. So, the start of a new round, we put all of our stamina back in the cauldron. We choose if we want to discard any of these cards. I actually think that I want to keep Detonate. I like the sound of that, although I did forget to actually use it. I could have used that when the Condemned was killed. I don't think I want to bother with Stone Flesh. I don't think I want to. I'm going to discard both of those 2, and we will draw 2 new cards. Let's see what we've got. Translocate. Bamf. It's an action. It's 2 stamina. Any serf and any minion swap locations. Now that one I think is really very useful. So I think we'll do something with that. Portal. A burst of smoke engulfs a hero as they disappear. For 4 stamina, teleport a hero from an area containing a summoning circle to another summoning circle, and the hero takes 1 wound. I like that as well. I think those are good. I'll try and remember to use them. That's always the problem with a new game, is just remembering to use stuff. So we have restored our stamina. Get rid of these dice. We are now at the beginning of the next round, and the heroes always go first. So we turn the card over, and it's hero number 5, which is Gerald. Gerald is still here on the board. All heroes in your area activate the objective. There aren't any heroes in my area. Then we have Alchemy. Teleport yourself and the nearest hero to the objective. That would have been a really good one, except that they can't perform any alchemy because they haven't picked up any botanicals yet. Next action, search chest or pick up botanicals. Right, well he can pick up a botanical, so we will pick that up. Now, if you're using these miniatures, the stretch goal miniatures, or I think they're an add-on, I don't know, but I've got them anyway. If you use these, you have to remember, before I started, I counted up how many of these are. There's 13 on the board, and I put 13 random botanical tokens into a little bag. And the reason I did that is pretty obvious. When we pick one of these up, you don't know how many cards you're supposed to get. So, you see, I've got them all in the bag here. I'm going to give it a shake. I'm not going to look. Oh, if I can get my fingers in. So, I'm just going to pick out one without looking. If I can get hold of one. There we go. Oh, well, that's quite lucky for the heroes, isn't it? They get 3. And then don't put this back in the bag, because they've obviously had this one, so we'll put this out of the way. And they will get 3 botanical cards. Now, these are the cards. In the multiplayer game, these ingredients are important. They dictate which spells you can cast. In the solo game, they mean nothing. It literally just is 3 botanical cards, And those are available for any hero that is making a spell. So they now can perform some magic. That was the first action. So now we have to look down this list again. There's still only him in his space, no other heroes. Now this next one, teleport yourself and the nearest hero to the objective, which would be quite unpleasant, is not going to happen. And the reason it's not going to happen is that the alchemy level is at 1 and this is a level 2. So luckily for us, that can't be performed yet. Next action we can't do, we've already picked up the botanical. Next action, attack enemy, we can't because there isn't an enemy in our space. So then we have to go to the heroes card, hero 5, search chest, can't do that. Attack enemy, well we already know we can't do that. Move towards enemy, we can do that. And we have a choice here. Where do we want to move him? He can move up the board this way to attack this mortis. He can move down the board this way to attack this mortis. Or he can move over to this ravenous. Now what we have to think to ourselves is, you're supposed to choose which is the one we would least like the hero to do. And I would probably least like him to move up the board to attack this. And the reason for that is because by moving him this way, I've got 2 farmers here, 2 serfs that I need to take care of, and he is now another hero closer to where they are, helping to protect them. So in the spirit of the game, making sure the heroes would do the thing that would be the most troubling to us, that would be the most troubling. Okay, that's the end of the hero's turn. Now it's my turn. I need to do something. Any serf and any minion. I think I'm going to use this spell, this translocate. But I tell you what, before I do that, what's my agility? My agility is 3. What's Kenzu's agility? His agility is also 3. So I can move. So I'm going to expend 2 stamina to swap. Who am I going to swap? I'm going to swap this serf from right up here on the top of the board with this ravenous down here. There we go. So that's done, that's a discarded spell. And then for my next action, I'm going to move, which will cost me 3 stamina, into this space with the serf. That's the end of my go. Right, let's come back to the heroes. We're going to activate number 4. Attack 2+ minions in range. Oh, how lucky for us. Corday is one of the heroes who has a ranged weapon. And her ranged weapon is actually superior to her melee weapon. In the multiplayer game, it costs less stamina, which makes it nice. But the actual chance of getting a wound is so much higher. So she has got a ranged weapon. She can do it. It's a blue dice and 2 yellows. And what we need to do now is say, can she actually see 2 enemy? It says attack 2+ minions, 2 or more minions in range. She has a ravenous in range and a ravenous in range. So she definitely has 2+ in range. And what she's going to do is she's actually going to attack each one. So she gets the 3. We add to the 3 her strength of 2, which makes it a 5, plus the 1 from down here, which makes it a 6. The ravenous only has a defense of 1. Oh dear. I mean, I could expend some stamina to try and defend, but the simple fact is that I wouldn't be able to roll enough on 2 dice to actually help. So the first ravenous is gone off the board, and because they have removed one of the Dark Legion, we get to move another token along. So now they've got 1s in all of those, and she'll now do exactly the same to the other ravenous. This time she gets 2, plus the 1 from here is 3, plus her strength of 2 makes it 5. And again, if I was to try and do something with that Ravenous, I wouldn't rate my chances very highly of protecting it. So that Ravenous is gone as well. Now we move these on again. We don't touch the alchemy one. The alchemy one only moves on when they cast an alchemy spell. Now we move on the agility one again. So their values really do go up quite quickly. Okay, well that was her first action. That was painful. Now we have to look to see what she's going to do for her second action. Well, she can no longer do that because she's killed both of them. But she can move 2 towards objective. So her objective at the moment would be to take out a witch, and she can move 2. 1, 2. So now she is in the space with me. Oh dear, this is not going very well for me at all. I thought this solo mode might be easy, I thought, but actually they've been really clever with how they've worked out the cards. And I actually think this is going to be, well, I think I'm probably going to do quite badly here. Right, what am I going to do? I'm running low on enemies, you know, supporting troops. So I think I will spend 5 to summon a Mortis into the fray. Okay, now we have a Mortis, that's good. Now I'm going to spend 3 stamina to attack the Serf. In fact, will I attack the Serf or will I attack the hero? I'm going to attack Corday, why not? Yeah, I'm going to attack her. So, 2 blue dice and 1 yellow. We get 3. Doesn't give me anything in terms of spells, but I can add the 3 to my strength of 2, which gives me 5. Now in the solo game, the heroes don't do anything fancy. They simply get their natural resistance, for Corday's resistance, or her, whatever you want to call it, her sort of personal, always there armor is 1. We have to remember as well to add from the tracker down here, so that gives her 2. So the good news is she takes a wound from me. So let's pop a wound marker on there to remind ourselves. That's the end of my turn. Let's see what the heroes are going to do now. It's going to be number 4, which is Corday again. Okay. She is going to attack a disciple and gain 1 to her attack value. Is there a disciple? No, there's no disciple. A disciple basically would be a Mortis or a Ravenous or one of my minions. So she can't do that. Evade to a disciple. She can't do that either because she can only move... Oh no, she can move 1 to go up to my Mortis, and she can evade to do that. So, okay, that's what she's going to do. She's going to go up here to my Mortis, attack disciple, and go... Well, okay, now she can attack. Actually, I've made a mistake here. She has a ranged weapon, doesn't she? I forget. So she has a ranged weapon. So let's go back. So her first action, attack a disciple and gain +1. She can do that. She has a ranged weapon. So her ranged weapon is 1 blue and 2 yellows. Gives her 3. +1 from here is 4. Plus her strength 5, 6. Now my Mortis does have a natural strength, a natural resistance of 3, so I think it's worth me to spend the 3 stamina to try and protect this Mortis. So we get a red and a green dice. Okay, well that hasn't helped us really at all. Do we have anything that can help us? No. Nothing that can help us. So the Mortis takes a wound. Now luckily the Mortis is a bit more robust and it has 2. So he's still in the fight for now. So that was her first action. And her second action, we start through the list again. Well, she's going to do exactly the same again, isn't she? She's going to attack again. Let's hope she gets a worse roll. No, she gets a better roll. Okay, she gets 4, plus the 1 is 5, plus her strength is 6, 7. I'm going to have to try and defend, so I will spend the 3 to try and protect this Mortis. So let's give this another go. I really don't feel very lucky though. That's about as unlucky as it gets. The Mortis has not been able to defend 2 wounds means dead. Take him off the table. And the heroes get to move the track on again, so they're getting even stronger now. Right, my go. I am going to spend 3 to attack the serf, 2 blues and a yellow. Okay, so we get a 4. We get a 4, plus our strength is 6, which means we also get to perform a spell, so we can ignore 1 defense with Perfora. We can also use Recover, which is recover 1 stamina. Okay, well, I will recover 1 stamina. And then in terms of the actual attack, we have 6, and the farmer has a natural resilience of 2. There is an extra effect though here, because there is a hero in the same space. They will get a +1 from the hero, which would bring it up to 3, but that isn't going to be enough to protect from our 6. So, goodbye. We put a soul token down, move that serf off the board, and we get to put, if we come over here, we get to put a soul token on there. Now that means we get to pick up a plague card. So this is the plague card. You cannot concentrate on anything except the hunger pangs racking your body. Now in a multiplayer game we would expend the 3 stamina to spread the plague, and it would reduce sustenance stamina by 2. In the solo game that's not how it works. We're going to do immediate effects from this card, and then we'll have finished with it and we'll discard it. So it's kind of you just get some benefit from it immediately and then carry on. Let's also just put, while we remember, let's just put a tracker in there, and let's also move this red thing on once more. Right, so just as a reminder, what happens when we have a plague? Plagues are still important, but obviously we have no stamina on the heroes to damage. So what we do instead is, they are spread normally but have a different effect. Ignore the source type, but take a note of the amount of stamina the heroes would lose. So the amount of stamina they lose on the card would be 2. The Witchmeister, well, first of all I have to actually pay the cost of spreading the plague, which is 3 stamina. So I do that. But the Witchmaster, now that we've done that, first of all I will get 2 stamina from the box. In other words, we'll add 2 to our total. Let's put it back here, so I'll add those 2 to there. Then it's going to cause 2 wounds to the heroes distributed in any combination. Well, I can tell you for a fact what I'm going to do now. I've got Corday in the same space as me. She's already got 1 wound. So I'm going to distribute 2 wounds to her.
Adding those 2 wounds brings Corday up to her total. And as soon as a hero is given their full totals, they're removed from the board.
You also take the wounds off here. If there was any item cards on the weapon, those would be discarded. Now, you're supposed to take this card away, and the next time the AI deck tells us to activate Hero 4, we would have a blank space. We would have no hero card here, and that would mean it was time to bring on a new hero. And we could pick any hero from the stretch goals or whatever, any hero we like, ideally with the same sort of type of character. But it doesn't have to be, of course, that's just a guide. I haven't got the other heroes out of the boxes and that here next to me, so I'll leave her card there, and what will happen is, if we get to activate hero type 4 again, if you remember at the beginning of the setup it said points of interest, they would come onto the board in this place here. So if we get to that point, she'll respawn, and she'll respawn in that space. Right. Yes, these warped cards are irritating me a bit. They're not terribly warped, but they're warped enough that, you know, yeah, I don't like it. And now it says move the marker cubes on the attribute board back by 2 spaces, again in any combination. So again, if we look at the attribute board, it's easy for me. I'm going to move the strength one back 1 and 2, so they're back to having no extra bonus on their strength. So plagues are incredibly useful, as you can see. Right, that was my turn. Now the heroes get to activate. So, number 5, which is Gerald again. Activate objective. He can't, there's nothing up there. Gerald is up the board there, there's no No soul token for him to do. A level 2 alchemy, attack 2 enemies in range. He only has a melee weapon, so there is nobody in range. Attack enemy, he can't attack enemy. Evade to objective. He doesn't need to evade. Now I have to say here, I think common sense would dictate that the action here is to move to objective, which would be a witch. But if you don't have to evade because there is nothing stopping you in your way and nothing in your space, I would feel like that objective should be followed. Sorry, evade to objective. Objective would be to get to this soul token. You can only move one space. So whether he needs to evade or not, he can't actually get to the objective. So he wouldn't do that action. So what he would do is move towards enemy. So we'll move him towards the enemy. Oh, have I knocked him over? He'll move in with this mortis. That's his first action. And then his next action will be attack enemy. So he's going to attack the enemy. What does he get on his weapon card? A green and 2 yellows. He gets 3 plus his strength brings it to 5. There's no bonus to be added, so that's a 5. The mortis has a natural resilience of 3. I will expend 3 stamina. Do you know what? I'm not going to expend 3 stamina, because I think I might be able to do more damage just by letting them kill this and having him explode. Yes, we'll take the wound. So I'll put a wound counter on here. We'll take the wound and we will let him explode. That's the end of that hero's go. I'm going to pass because I only have 3 stamina left. So the heroes will get to activate again. Hero number 2, which is Batista. Activate objective, he can't, there's nothing there. Search chest or pick up botanical, there's nothing there for him to do. Level 1 alchemy, evade to chest or botanicals. Evade to chest or botanicals. Search chest or pick up botanicals. Okay, well it says it's a level 1 alchemy, so what that really means is that moves on 1. He will, as I say, he doesn't need to evade, but he would. If you don't need to evade, that would just make the moving easier. I'm going to play it that way, and if anybody thinks that's wrong, please shout out in the comments. So he's moved there, and he's also going to search the chest. So take that off the board. We pick up a loot card for him. It is another artifact. He already has an artifact, so we don't need that. We'll simply discard that card. Okay, that is 1 action for Batista. What's he going to do next? Well, he can't activate the objective. He can't search a chest. He's already done that. He's already evaded to the space. He can't do that again because it would be too far. He can move 2. Can he move 2 to the objective? 1, 2? No. If he moves 2, he'd end up here, so he wouldn't be at the objective. So now we have to look at his hero card rather than the card that we got from the AI. So you always start with the AI card and go through the objectives on there, and then you move down to the hero card. Attack enemy. There isn't an enemy for him to attack. Move 2 to botanicals and pick them up. He can do that. Move 2, 1, 2, and pick up the botanicals. So, oh, sorry, that doesn't go there. It goes back next to him. So he's going to pick up a botanical. So we're back to our little bag, and he gets 2. Don't put it back in. 2 botanical cards again. I'll show you them just for the sake of it, but doesn't matter. We just add those to the stack. So he has now performed his 2 actions. Now we reset the turn. So resetting the turn for the next round, I get my stamina back. I spent 1 of my spells, so I get to pick 1 more card anyway. This says impervious. Your body cannot be harmed for 3 stamina, and it's a reaction. When a hero attacks, ignore all wounds but resolve other attack effects. Okay, that sounds good to me. I think I'll keep that. Do I want to keep the others? I think I want to keep Detonate and Portal. I need really need a hero to be in a space with a summoning circle for that to be of any use. I think that's pretty unlikely to happen, so I'm going to discard that and pick a new one to get my hand back up to 3. Collapse. The hero doubles over exhausted. When a hero attacks, they exhaust all their remaining stamina. So this is one of these cards it tells you about in the solo rules. It's of no use to us because all it does is affect hero stamina. So we ignore that and just draw another card. Fail. Your enemy fumbles at the last second. 3 stamina. When a hero attacks, ignore the attack completely. Now that's a nice card. I like that, and that's a reaction, so I don't have to use it until they attack me. So that's great. I like that a lot. Okay. First turn, as always, goes to the heroes. Turn over the card. It's our good friend Kenzu. First of all, activate objective. He can't. He's not in the same space. Move 2 to objective. Oh, I don't believe this. He can do that because he can go 1, 2, and now. So that's his first. And now he will activate objective. He is going to take us our trapped souls again. I think I realise with this first mission in solo play, this is just what I'm learning. This is the first time I've played. It would appear to me that to make this work, to give you a chance to get all of these farmers down at the same time, really you need to position your minions in the rooms with them ready so that you can then take them down all within the sort of 2 or 3 turns. Because, if you do them one at a time like I've been doing, you're going to get the activate objective. It's going to crop up from time to time. So that's maybe my strategy. I have a really bad feeling about my chances of winning this game. So he's done his 2, so now it's my turn. I think I need to get some more minions on the board. What I'm going to do is spend 5 stamina to summon a minion. And I will put what will I put? I will put I'm just thinking which ones move the quickest. The Ravenous move the quickest. Yeah, I'll put a Ravenous on the board right here. Then I'll spend another 5. No, I won't spend another 5. I'll spend 1 to move that Ravenous into here with that farmer. That's the end of my turn. Let's see what the heroes do. We're activating hero 5 again, which is Gerald again. Okay. First it says move to chest or botanicals, search chest or pick up botanicals. Well, that's good. He can pick up the botanicals. There is one in that space. We will reach into our little bag, pull out a token. 3 again. Wow. Got a lot of 3s. 1, 2, I won't bother showing you the cards, I just add them to the pile. So they've got loads of these botanicals now for doing spells. So that was his first action. Right, so he's not going to do that again. Next is evade to objective and activate objective. Well, he can't do that because he can only move 1, so there isn't an objective within range. Evade towards objective. Okay, well, his agility is 1. Plus we have the agility from the tracker here of 2. So his agility is 3. And a Mortis has an agility of only 1. So he can evade towards the objective. He'll simply move 1 like that. Okay, that's the end of the hero's turn. My turn. I am going to summon another Ravenous, which is going to cost me another 5 of my stamina. So expend those. And we will place a Ravenous here. And then I'm going to expend 1 stamina to move that Ravenous into here. And we can do that because the Ravenous has an agility of 3 and Gerald has an agility of 3. So there's nothing stopping that Ravenous from moving. So what I'm doing here is, having learnt from my first 2 takeovers, I'm now going to get myself in a position where I can try and attack them all within 2 or 3 turns. Okay, so that's the end of my go. We turn this over. Here we go. So this has happened. So it's hero 4. If you remember, hero 4 is Corday, who got taken out of the game. So that means she gets to respawn now down here. So that's the first action, is the respawn. The next action, we have to look at the card. So activate objective, no. Evade to objective, no. Attack enemy, yes, she can attack me. So she will attack. She's in melee range, so what does her melee attack do? It's 2 yellow dice. So 2 yellow dice. She does 2, plus her strength of 2 is 4. There's no bonuses to add. Becca has a natural resilience of 2. Oh, okay. Do you know what? Rather than spending 3 stamina to defend, I'll simply spend the 3 stamina here. When a hero attacks, ignore the attack completely. That's it. That's a useful spell. We've used it. It has the cross symbol down here, which means that you use it once and then discard. So that's gone. But that did its job. Quite pleased with that. That is the end of the hero's turn. Now it is my turn. What do I want to do this time? I've got minions in place everywhere. Can I evade? What is my agility? My agility is 3. Corday's agility is 4. So I can't evade. I can't move out of the space that I'm in with Corday. So I need to get another minion onto the board as quickly as possible. So I'm going to spend my 2, 3, 4, 5. And you've probably guessed I'm going to get another Ravenous on the board because they're the fastest to move. So there's my Ravenous arriving from wherever the Ravenouses live when they're not attacking peasants. And then I'll spend 1 stamina to move 1 space. That's the end of my turn. Let's see, what are the heroes going to do? It's going to be number 6, Kenzu again. Activate objective. He can't. Evade to objective. He doesn't need to, he's already in the space with me. Level 3 botanical spell. Defeat all creatures or all minions in 1 area. Not really sure how that works. Hang on. Defeat all creatures or all minions in 1 area. Which area? I think I'm going to read that as his area, in 1 area. Yeah, I'm going to read that in his area, which moves us down to attack enemies. So I think more sensible, he's going to attack Pekka. He has 2 blue dice for his attack. Wow, he gets 4. Well, that's good for him. So he gets 4 plus his strength of 2 gives it 6. And is there anything I can do? I can do this spell. Your body cannot be harmed. For 3 stamina, when a hero attacks, ignore all wounds but resolve other attack effects. So I'll spend my 3. You see, again, this is, it says when a hero attacks, ignore all wound. Well, if they only ever do 1 wound, why does it say all wounds? Why does it not just say ignore the wound or ignore wound, but resolve other attack effects? It just confuses me. But anyway, I've spent my stamina. I've ignored it. I will discard that card now that we've used it. That was that go. And now Kenzu will do... We have to go down the list again. Well, you know what he's going to do. He's going to attack me again. And this time he gets 3 plus his 2 is 5. I will use my last 3 stamina to try and defend myself. So I get a red and a green. I get 2 plus my natural defense of 2 is 4. But 4 isn't enough to cast a spell either. And I have nothing else I can rely upon. So yes, unfortunately, I'm going to take another wound. I've now taken 2 wounds. I've got 2 left. Right. That is the end of the round. Well, I already said that was the end of the round, didn't I? That's why I kept that bit of stamina. So the heroes have had 1 turn. Now we start a new round. I draw 2 more witchcraft cards. Nick. The wound squirts fountains of blood. When your attack causes 1 wound, cause an additional wound. Lightning blast. Lightning strikes the hero. 4 stamina. Hero in an area with a summoning circle takes 1 wound. Okay, those are my new spells. Put all my stamina back in my little cauldron thing. And we start the new round, so that means the heroes get to go. It's number 3, which is Wulgar. We haven't had anything with Wulgar for a while. Okay, so he's up at the top of the board with my Mortis, if you remember. He's up all the way up here with that Mortis. So, first of all, activate objective. Well, no, can't do that. Level 3 spell, all heroes heal 1. He can't do a level 3 spell because they're only at level 1 at the moment. Oh no, sorry. Wulgar has level 2, plus this would make him level 3, so he can do that. He has to discard 3 botanicals because it's a level 3 spell. So we just get rid of those. Put them, well, we can just put them back on the botanical stack because that's fine. And all heroes heal 1. Okay, there are no heroes. So this is one of the important rules in the solo game that it talks about. Although in theory he can do that, because there are no heroes that need to heal, that would be a complete waste of an action. And it does actually tell you in the rules to watch out for that. So I put the 3 botanical cards back. We're not going to do that action because it's of just no value at all. Search chest or pick up botanicals. He can't do that. There's nothing in his space. Evade towards objective. Can he evade a Mortis? He has an agility of 2, a 4. The Mortis is, oh yeah, easily. So he can evade towards the objective. The objective would be the witch, so he will do that. That's one action. Now we... Oh, hang on. We have to be careful here. Look, there is a reaction down here. Level 2. When you evade +1 areas. So he'll discard 2 cards from the botanicals and he will actually get to move an additional space. That does not move the alchemy tracking here bonus along because it's a reaction. This only moves along when they actually perform an action to perform a spell. Okay, so that was his first action. His next action will be, he doesn't need to evade this time. So we're not going to use any of those. If we look at his card, there's no point him healing because nobody needs healing. Move towards enemy. That's going to be the one. So move towards enemy. Who's the closest enemy? Well, it's a bit silly. He's going to move back because the closest enemy is that Mortis. That's fine. That's fine. I'm not going to say no to that. That's good for us. Okay, my turn. I am going to spend 1 stamina to move the Ravenous in. I'm going to spend another stamina to move the Ravenous next to this Serf. We now have one of our minions with every single Serf on the board. If we get really lucky here, we might be able to make something happen. What are the heroes going to do? Let's turn over the card. Activate objective for Hero 1. Hero 1 is Courthouse. Where is Courthouse? Courthouse is in the space up there with Wulgar. He's up here. No, hang on. That's Gerald, not Courthouse. Where is Courthouse? Ah, he's over here. He's doing nothing. I don't think we've had any actions with him for ages. So he's up there doing nothing much. So can he activate the objective? No, he can't. Can he move 2 to get to an objective? Yes, I think he can. Just looking at the board. Yes, he can. He can move 1, 2, and he's now with the objective, which is obviously to attack the witch. Now that's his first action done. We look again, activate objective. It would be attack witch. So he's going to attack. Okay, he attacks with a blue and 2 yellows. And gets a very good score. Gets 5. We add his strength of 2 to it. Gives him a 7. I need something good here. Can I do anything? I'm just going to have to spend 3 and see if I can get lucky with the dice. So I get a red and a green. I realise now that greens are horrible. 1. I get 1. I add that to my strength of 2 to give me a 3. which is useless. I take another wound. One more wound and I become a burning witch. And I'll have to summon another witch to the table. Right. At least it's my go now. So, I still can't evade because I'm trapped in this space with all these heroes. So what I will do is start to turn these peasants into trapped souls. I'll start with the peasant furthest up the board. Actually, no, I won't. I'll start with this peasant down here in the corner with the mortis, because it may draw some of these heroes away from me, which would be good. So the mortis attacks 3 stamina to make him attack. 1, 2, 3. He gets 3 yellow dice. So I put the wound on the card for the mortis, but I have more than one on the board, so I need to put that wound up with the miniature. Right, 3 yellow dice for his attack. And he gets 3. Plus his strength of 2 makes it a 5. And this farmer doesn't stand a chance. So he's gone. Soul token on the table. Soul token on the plague tracker. Let me come over here again to remind you. So I've just put a soul token on here because that's our third. And then... oh, I forgot to put a soul token on when we took Corday out of the game. We've had 2 soul tokens for 2 peasants that we've dealt with. One for when Corday was taken out of the game, which I forgot, but I'll put that on now. So this next soul token actually goes on another plague marker, which means we get a plague. Let's see what this is going to do. It is reduce sustenance by 1. Okay, well, it's going to cost me 3. Which I can't do this go. I'll have to wait till my next go, but I will do this. I think it's always worth doing the plagues when you get a chance, so we'll leave that for now. Let's see, so I used 1 action with the mortis to do that. Now that he's done that, I might as well move him. Maybe I can bring him over to try and help me, so I'll move the mortis with 3 more stamina this direction. Okay, that's the end of my go. Heroes activate. And it is Batista. Search chest or pick up botanicals. There are no botanicals in the space that he's in. Attack enemy. There is no enemy in his space. Move 2 towards enemy. He can do that. He could move to me, or again, I have to go with what's worst for me here. Now, I could sort of go 1, 2 and put it. I've already got 3 heroes in with me. What's actually much worse for me is if he goes 1, 2 and moves into this space here. That would be far worse for me, because now he's in the right place to save a soul, and if he saves 1 more soul, then I've lost the game. So now that he's moved 2 towards the enemy, we need to do his second action, attack enemy. There is no chest in here. No, it's already been looked at. So yeah, search chest with attack enemy. Okay, well that's me. So Batista gets a green and a yellow. He gets 1. He adds the 1 to his strength of 2, which gives him a 3. I need to defend this Ravenous, so I'm going to spend 1 stamina to roll 2 green dice. Let's roll them up here. Gives me a 1. To add to the Ravenous's 1 is 2. Jeez. I've lost my Ravenous again. Okay, just when I had a plan coming together. Okay. Maybe I should have spawned a Mortis or something a bit stronger. They have killed my Ravenous. That means they get to move this tracker on by 1. Like so. Okay, that was Batista's turn. It's my turn now. I will execute 3 stamina to trigger the plague. So it says 1. So I will get 1 more stamina from the bag. I will get to take cubes down. I'm going to take the agility cube down by 1 because I'm desperate to get my witch out of this space. And then I get to do 1 wound to any hero I like in any particular order. So I am going to do a wound to... It's got to be Corday. She only has 3. So if I do a wound to her, it gets me started on trying to get rid of one of these heroes. Okay, that's my first action with the plague. Now that I've done the plague, can I actually move? I have an agility of 3. Right, Kenzu's agility is... what's his agility? 2. Plus the 1 on the tracker means 3. That's the same. Corday is 2. Plus 1 is 3. That's the same. Who's the other hero in that space? Kurthouse. His agility is 1 plus. I can actually move. Excellent. So I am going to move. What does it cost me to move? It costs me 3 to move. So I pay my 3 and I move this way into this space with a summoning circle. And I'm doing that because I have a spell to attack a hero in a space with a summoning circle. So hopefully one of them will follow me up there. Okay, that's the end of my turn. We need to shuffle these cards. And whatever ends up on the top, in fact I'll shuffle them this way so I can't see. Whatever ends up on the top will be the hero that activates. And the card that I've left here that I'm not including, which was the last one, that will be the actions that we perform. Okay, so the actions that are going to be performed are... And the hero will be number 5, which is Gerard. Activate objective, he can't. He is, let me again remind you where he is. He's up here in the middle of nowhere, doing not much at all. In fact, if I leave this here, you can see the whole board. There we go. So he can't do that. Attack enemy. He doesn't have an enemy in his space. The next thing he can do is move to enemy. Okay. He can move to an enemy. I could move him towards the Mortis, but that would be my preference. I would rather he was there. So instead, I'll move him into here because that's more unpleasant for me. I would rather he wasn't in there with my Ravenous. So that's his first action. Now we start looking at the list again. Attack enemy. So he's going to attack. I can never remember what all their weapons are. He is a blue and 2 yellows. A blue and 2 yellows, which gives him 4. I don't like the chances of my Ravenous too much. 4 plus his strength of 2 is 6, plus the 1 that is on the attribute tracker gives him a 7. I cannot save this Ravenous. There's nothing I can do. So Ravenous is gone, and they get their agility goes back up again by another 1. Could have done without that. Right, it is my go. I am going to... geez, what am I going to do? I'm going to move Pekka away 1, just to try and keep her a bit safer. 3 stamina to move her. And we'll move her over here. And then I'm going to spend 1 to move this Ravenous out of that room. And that's my 2 actions done. Back onto the hero's turn. Next hero to activate is Corday. She will attack 2 minions in range. Well, there's only 1 minion in range, so she won't do that. She'll move 2 towards objective. She can do that. She can actually move into the space with the objective. Luckily for me. Attack 2 minions in range. No. Move 2 towards objective. She's done that. She can't do that now. Activate objective, which is attack witch. She can do that. She will do 2 yellow dice and get 1 plus her strength of 2 gives 3, plus the bonus in the attribute tracker brings it to 4. Becca's strength is 2. I've already got 3 wounds, so I really do have to defend. So I'll have to spend 3 to defend with a red and a green. I get 2, plus my natural strength of 2 is a 4. That cancels out her attack. So that's lucky for me. That was the end of the hero's turn. Now it is my turn. I've only got 3 stamina left. I'm going to pass, which means it's the end of this round, which means that the heroes will get 1 more go. It's number 5, Gerald. Attack a disciple and gain 1. There's no one to attack. Evade to disciple, doesn't need to evade. Evade to botanical, doesn't need to evade. So then it's Search chest. Okay, well he will do search chest, and he gets an attack bonus. So I'll put that on his weapon. He'll get +1 on his attack value. Okay, that was that action, and then his next action will be, he can't search chest, he can't attack an enemy, move towards an enemy. So he'll move back out into this space. Right, that was the end of the round. Put all the stamina back. Okay, like that. That's all back. Do I want to get rid of any of these cards? Yes, I'm going to get rid of Nick. I'm going to take a new card. Favoured spell. You remember a spell that saved you on Nemos. For 3, it's a reaction. Choose any card from the witchcraft draw or discard pile. Okay. It's interesting. Right. It's the heroes to go first because it's the start of a new round. It's number 6, which is our good friend Kenzu. Activate objective, no. Evade to objective, doesn't need to. Attack enemy, there's no enemy to attack. So now we have to go to his card because there's nothing on the AI card that's going to help us. Move to witch, attack witch. He can't move far enough to the witch. Search chest or pick up botanical. He can pick up a botanical, so he'll do that. One of the tokens. There we go, I've got one. What does it say? 3 again. Just add that to the stack. We haven't really done a lot of spell casting in this. Okay, so he has picked up the botanical. Now we have to look, is there any change? There's no change. So none of the actions on the AI card are going to trigger. So we go to the hero card, and he still can't do the move to witch, attack witch, can't do the search or pick up botanicals because he's done it. Move 2 towards enemy. So he will move 2 towards enemy, which will be this guy. He's the closest. Okay, end of the hero's turn. Why am I moving this? Let's put that there. I'm going to get that Ravenous up at the top there to attack that peasant. So spend 2, a blue and a yellow. Gives me a 3, which is more than enough to take care of that peasant. So soul token goes on the board to take the peasant away. And now that the soul token's on the board, I get to move my red. Let me come over here. I get to move the little red cube along another space, and I get to put another soul token on the board. So that was 1. Then that's 2. We've got 2 soul tokens on the board now. So I did 1 action to kill the serf. Now I have to do another, which is I'll move him out. So that's just 1 stamina to move him out. Okay. Now it's the hero's turn. It's Corday, and the first thing says all heroes in your area activate the objective. All heroes in your area activate the objective. So activating the objective here would be to... no, if the soul token's on the board, then activating the objective is to cleanse the soul token, not to attack the witch. Level 2, teleport yourself and the nearest hero to the objective. What is her level? She can do this. So it's going to cost 2 botanical. Well, the nearest hero is Kenzu, I would say, to the objective. So she does that. We move, we have to remember, because we've done an alchemy as an action, we have to move that on 1. And now all heroes in your area activate the objective. That will be, well, that will be it. That will be the end of the game for us. We've lost 3 soul tokens. Three taken souls have been taken off the board by the heroes. If we just remind ourselves of the win conditions, the heroes win immediately if they free 3 trapped souls. We've lost. Well, never mind. I'm sure I could have played this a lot better. And first time playing through, I think what I've realised for this mission, and I should have really thought about this at the beginning, but it was more important for me to try and get through the rules. You know, obviously this is to try and help everybody learn how to play the game, including myself. It would seem that the most sensible thing to do in this particular encounter is to get a critical mass of minions in rooms with the serfs, and then basically just start, you know, killing the serfs and getting them and just doing a bum, 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 one after another. So even if you get a couple of unfortunate hero activations which free a couple of them, you would still have time to get more of them converted. Where I went wrong was I was basically dealing with the serfs one at a time with no chance to kill any other serfs any time soon, and that made it extremely likely that the heroes would activate and free those souls. So yes, this I think got the rules correct as far as I can tell. I think pretty much everything's right. I always appreciate anybody who's spotted something though. Call it out in the comments. It helps other people watching to learn. The main reason I think this has failed is just poor planning on my part. But I do like the fact that the AI, it makes sense. You know, tiny bit of assistance from me, if you like, just to make the choice a couple of times and to pick the choice that would be the least popular, least favourable for myself. But other than that, the AI has worked quite well. Not too cumbersome having all these heroes to deal with, and I like the fact that there's a lot of variety. Having 6 heroes in play at a time, it gives a lot more randomness to which one's going to activate next and what they're going to do. And yet, even despite that, you could say it's too random, but even despite that, they've managed to beat me without too much difficulty, I would say. Anyway, I hope this is useful.